I would certainly be in favor of allowing states to use the bankruptcy route.
Welcome to another discussion of following Mitch's money. I thought it would be interesting to select a lobbying firm that I expect has been able to influence Mitch McConnell, and then talk about how lobbying is supplemented by donations from those firms who pay lobbying firms to help them obtain the legislation they desire for their businesses that pay them. I'm certain most of you have heard of the 6 degrees of separation, the idea that all people are 6 or fewer social connections away from each other, also known as the 6 handshakes rule. As a result, a chain of a friend statements can be made to connect any 2 people in a maximum of 6 steps. It is easy to connect Mitch lobbying firms, as those companies are hired by companies to talk to politicians like Mitch to obtain favorable outcomes for the companies that hire the lobbyists. I selected a firm that has been in the headlines lately, primarily due to its involvement in some high-profile situations, Mercury Public Affairs. From their website, Mercury is a high-stakes public strategy firm. We provide results for the world's most successful companies, leading advocacy groups, governments, political parties, NGOs, and prominent public and political figures. Mercury has 22 offices scattered around the globe and employs 172 experts. One of the partners is David Vitter from Louisiana. Mr. Vitter served first in the U.S. House and then was elected to the U.S. Senate. He resigned over a scandal, but is still involved in politics on the lobbying side of the equation. Mitch and his wife and her dad, along with other Chows, were contributors to Vitter while he was in political office. Vitter has ties to Mitch and to Russia, as he was among foreign agents paid to ease sanctions on Oleg Deripaska. Let's bring Trump into this 6 degrees of separation. Trump nominated Vitter's wife to a federal judgeship in 2018. Mitch pushed that nomination through the Senate, and Mrs. Vitter is now serving as a federal judge in Louisiana. During the 2020 election cycle, Mercury has spent $4.3 million lobbying Congress on behalf of 72 clients and spent over $9 million in 2019. The following clients of Mercury also made contributions to Mitch McConnell: Altria, almost $100,000, KKR and Company, over $120,000, and Blue Cross Blue Shield, over $84,000. The combination of paying lobbying firms, companies donating money to congressional leaders, and individuals within those entities creates good legislation for big business. Here's another 6 degrees of separation connection that intrigues and fascinates me. In May 2018, Lord Gregory Barker of Battle, a member of the British House of Lords and chairman of EN Plus Group, which is a Russian energy company formerly controlled by Deripaska, inked a 6-figure per month contract with Mercury Public Affairs to lobby for the removal of U.S. sanctions imposed for Deripaska's role in Russian interference in the 2016 election. At the crux of the operation is former Senator David Vitter. Despite a 2-year cooling-off period that restricts senators from immediately lobbying their colleagues under the Lobbying Disclosure Act, Vitter is still able to lobby other key figures in the Trump administration. Vitter received 12 reported disbursements from Barker in June and July of 2018, 8 of which were for client meetings. In April, Vitter had several meetings with State Department and Treasury Department officials, briefing them on Barker's situation. One would think U.S. Treasury Secretary Mnuchin was involved in this 6 degrees of separation circle, and possibly United States Secretary of State Pompeo. Vitter was not the only big name Mercury enlisted to beef up their lobbying efforts for the sanctioned companies. Mercury also brought on former Trump campaign aide Brian Lanza. Both Mercury and Deripaska have come under scrutiny by federal prosecutors in New York over ties to former Trump campaign chair Paul Manafort's influence operations benefiting the Russian government and Russian President Vladimir Putin. Farr disclosures revealed the group has a tight relationship with the European Center for a Modern Ukraine, a nonprofit believed by U.S. officials to be linked to pro-Russia Ukrainian politicians. Due to this, Mercury is also tied to the Brady aluminum plant in the Green Ashland, Kentucky area, as Deripaska owned Russell and was required to relinquish ownership as part of the deal to reduce sanctions. The Brady aluminum plant is on hold, and the forecast is not great that this plant will ever be built. It is notable that in August 2020, the new CEO pledged that dirt would be moved starting in December 2020. Thanks to former Governor Matt Bevin, the Commonwealth owns stock in this venture. We know from previous discussions that Mitch is most concerned about money. Russian oligarchs, Russian citizens with dual U.S. citizenship, lobbyists, big business, lobbying firms, all know that the way to Mitch is money. Seemingly, Mitch is involved in all of their circles because it is politically expedient. One can surmise why Mitch earned the nickname Moscow Mitch. I propose this is detrimental to we the people and believe we need to retire Mitch on November 3rd, 2020.
This partisan impeachment will end today.
So I have great confidence in my intelligence people, but I will tell you that President Putin was extremely strong and powerful